It's going to be really interesting to see how the world responds. But the reality is we don't know. We don't know. But what we do know is we need to have contingencies.
Hi, my name is Mark.
Hey, Mark.
We're actually developing a remote collaboration software. So we naturally are fully remote.
If you're offering remote services, right now, let me tell you one of the biggest business opportunities today. Who here knows how to set up businesses and get them remote? Fuck me. That's a service right now that if you literally started marketing, is your business corona ready? Is your business remote ready? Are you prepared for, running operationally remote? I tell you right now, you guys will fucking crush it. Okay. Crush it. Because everyone now is trying to work out, how the fuck do I go remote? It's like, yeah.
So I should basically contact my advertising team, come up with a bunch of new videos.
Yes.
Regarding remote work and are you corona ready?
Yeah.
Now, is there a tactful boundary that you should not pass on this?
Just don't be a douchebag about it, and don't feed the hype. Just have honest, authentic communication strategies.
Okay.
And it'll happen naturally.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
1, 2, 3. Okay, go yellow.
Hi, I'm Belinda.
Hey, Belinda.
So, similar to trades, I own a swim school, so I can't really go remote. I can by not going to the swim school, but
That already is a limiting statement. You haven't worked out how to go remote yet.
To teach children how to swim.
Uh-huh. Let me fuck with your head.
You are already.
Good. Work it out. How do you teach kids how to swim remotely? How do you answer that question? Because I guarantee you got kids? How many kids?
About 500.
No. Well, you are
my
a
children.
busy
I've
woman.
got 2 children.
Okay, 2
I've
children.
got 2 children. I've got 500 kids we teach per week.
Okay, you got 2 kids, right?
Yep.
Let's say someone, God forbid, please bear with me here, kidnapped one of your kids and said, you have 4 days to come up with an online training program to teach parents to teach their kids how to swim, or we lock your child in another cupboard. I'm trying not to be graphic here. Or the kid gets it. Would you be able to come up with a online training program to teach parents how to teach their kids how to swim? Because honestly, if you had one, I would have fucking bought it.
I'll have to look into it.
No, you won't have. Yes, you fucking have to look into it. You don't have a choice right now.
Yeah.
Or actually, yeah, you do have a choice. Do nothing.
Well, no, not nothing, because then I've got nothing.
Exactly. The only choice right now is you got to work it out.
Yep.
Or you quit. Quitting's okay if that's what you want to do. If it makes sense. If this makes sense, fucking do it. But it doesn't for you.
No.
Because you haven't tried yet. Work it out and work it out and work it out and work it out. And if you can't work it out and it makes good sense, and you've got composure and clarity and a level of decisiveness around that, and it makes sense to stop, then stop. But you haven't even tried yet. You will work it out.
Thank you.
1, 2, 3. Go red.
Kiralee here.
No Kiralee there.
My question's got nothing to do with the coronavirus. It's got all to do with me.
Yeah, go.
Which is very important to me right now.
Good.
I'm starting on a bit of a journey of self-discovery, and I've had some questions come up around my personal power, but I'm struggling to get clarity around what that means to me.
Oh, that's a fucking good question.
So I just want to know, do you have any other techniques besides meditation that can really help
Personal power? Yes.
connect?
Own everything. Everything is your fault. Everything is your responsibility. All your emotions are yours. We lose power when we give people responsibility, especially for our emotions. You made me upset. No, I didn't. You chose to be upset because I said that. How do you take your bowel back? Take your buttons off the table. Because are you buttonless in every scenario? Are you triggerless in every scenario?
No.
Okay, so that's your goal. Because meditation, yeah, that will help. But what you need to do is take your buttons off the table and realize that every single emotional experience, every single one of you are having, it's your choice to let that situation, that statement, that context, their response affect you. The person with the highest consciousness has the greatest responsibility for how to respond in the moments that matter.
I'm trying to understand this, where it's coming from, though, I suppose.
Conditioning, programming, your parents, your
Yeah.
teachers, your childhood friends, your traumas. You can sit there and fucking psychoanalyze it. Doesn't matter. You're still going to have to work it out.
Yeah.
You'll find where the roots are when you start digging.
Well, that's what, yeah.
Then
I'm
that's what you're
digging-
doing.
I'm digging, but
the
it's
digging
not
is
quite.
becoming mindful of, in situations where people remind you when you're emotional, I am not responsible for your emotions. You need someone around you who's willing to have that honest conversation with you. Say, honey, I love you dearly, but I'm not responsible for this emotional response right now.
He's over there.
I know he is. Okay? I'm not responsible for your emotional response right now, but I'm going to hold space while you express. Men, listen. I am not responsible for your emotions right now. They are yours and yours only. But what I am responsible for is holding space for you right now so that you feel safe to express the emotions that are coming up for you. I don't know about you, but ladies, who wouldn't mind that kind of a response from a man? Like, honestly, ladies in the room, who goes, fuck that response? Who doesn't like that response as a lady? Okay.
Me.
Just one. Just you, because you
me.
don't want to hear it.
I know I've just, this is a big conversation that we've been having about saying, you made me feel upset rather than I feel upset. So me owning the emotion, it's a big discussion that Simon and I have, and I realise it's because I'm about other people and he's a little bit more inward. So it is a struggle of that conversation.
It's beautiful.
Definitely. But,
You'll work it out.
Yeah.
You'll work it out.
Yeah.
Own your stuff. That's your power.
Yep.
Power. Disempowerment is blame. It's my husband, my mum, my dad. That's disempowering. Empowerment, true empowerment, is extreme ownership. Everything is my fault. Even if I don't perceive it as mine, I will take it as my responsibility to fix the psychological consequence of that experience, or the spiritual, or the physical, or the emotional, whatever it is. Make sense?
Okay. Yep.
One,
Thank you,
two,
Karen.
three, you're welcome. Let's go yellow.
Yeah, my name's Ben.
Ben, I got to say, I'm loving your fucking content. Loving the strategy. Loving
Thanks,
it.
mate. Getting it out there. If we're going to watch this in 12 months' time,
Yeah.
you've got your crystal ball and tell us how the next 12 months is going to play out.
Well, I don't have a crystal ball, but all I know is there's massive change coming, and it's not going to be. And the greater the levels of resistance, those with the greatest resistance are going to experience the greatest levels of pain. And those who embrace and accept what's coming and what's happening right now are going to fucking soar and fly. That's all I know. But what I do know is everything's going to be okay. I know that as a fact. That's all I know. I know everything's going to be okay. What that looks like, I don't know. But what I do know, I promise you on my life that everything is going to be okay.
No, I'm actually weirdly,
Calm.
maybe a bit cracked like you are. I'm a bit excited
Dude,
about what's coming.
Well, we are so cracked, it's crazy.
Is anyone else a tiny bit excited? Because,
Dude, honestly, like what this is going to do for our community from a leverage perspective, and again, I'm just trying to balance out the conversation. Please don't think, oh, he's just being fucking sensational. Oh, he's making it out to be it's all. It's not. I'm just balancing the conversation. Like the wealth that's going to be leveraged in the next 5 to 10 years, if you guys play your fucking war chest right, you guys will be set up for life based on this experience. For fucking life. And maybe your kids as well. If you are smart with your war chest, in the next 12 months, next 3 years, you are going to come out fucking rosy. Super, super rosy. And so that's what some of you are feeling. Some of you are going, why am I excited? Because you're fucking ready to take advantage of the greatest transition of wealth that we're probably going to ever see in the history of our time. This is going to be one of the greatest events in history of our time. And we're a part of it. And what we make of it will determine what every civilization makes of every tragedy. It's like, this is Darwinian. The strongest will survive. That's a business concept, and that's also a human concept. This is perfection. This is perfect.
Hey, Kerwin, it's AJ.
Hey, AJ.
I don't really have a question with regards to what's happening right now.
Mm-hmm.
It's more a question about how to support people that are going through a depressive state and stuff like that, don't really want to seek help.
Okay.
And
So
then
this is separate to this.
It's separate to,
Okay.
yes, yeah. And then, but that I guess some of these things may bring up a lot of things for people that are feeling helpless within trades and all that
Sure.
kind of stuff as well. So how to support somebody
Going through depression?
Yeah.
Look, I wouldn't say that's a question I'm necessarily an expert equipped to answer, but with the friends that I've supported through depression, I've often found the best way I can support them is by giving some form of either coaching and alternative perspectives, but I'm very, very, very strong on professional help. And not the professional help that typically the first port is medication, the first port is therapy. You know, I know for me personally, I'm very interested in, you know, a range of different alternative therapies for depression. You know, you'll be very interested to read the research on depression. You know, the psilocybin studies around depression, the LSD studies around depression. Very interesting stuff. But yeah, I'd be seeking some professional help. But ultimately, the hardest thing when you're working with someone with depression, I've personally found, is finding the motive to get them to move. Because oftentimes they can be disassociated depending on the level of depression. And when they're disassociated, that's basically what it means. There's no connection to anything of substance. They're just numb. And so the goal is to bring them back in. And in certain situations, that's where professional help, if it's beyond your capabilities, might be required. But if it's like a mild or a moderate case of depression, then that really, I would still suggest a alternative health professional approach, not a pharmacological health approach, and just work out some kind of a treatment plan. But ultimately, it comes down to the individual and their desire to get help. It's like, it's not that I think depression is an addiction, but I look at depression much like addiction. It's a neurology. It's a pattern that's conditioned and it's wired. And so it's not until there's a level of awareness around that pattern to want to change it that people will, in most cases, do something. But I'd certainly be interested in, you know, the psilocybin research, you know, as something you might want to throw into the mix of things that you read about.
I guess I was just very cautious with the coaching side of thing if it's a close relationship.
Look, to me, I try and avoid the coaching scenario in most cases because of the level of relationship. Like if it's someone I know really well,
Yeah.
I'll just take it to a point where it's like, this is my limitation, and then I'll hand it off to someone who can, you know, take it appropriately. But again, depression's a spectrum.
Yeah.
And I can't give one piece of advice for everyone because some people might need treatment. Some people might need actually medication. You know, some people have, you know, treatment-resistant depression. But what's interesting is the research around psilocybin and treatment-resistant depression right now and what's coming out. You know, they're basically curing treatment-resistant conditions with a whole range of things.
So what about tools for the people that are supporting those people?
These ones. All
Yeah.
of the tools I've already
Okay.
given you.
Yeah.
And the reason I point to the tools is because I never want to get you guys to the point where it's like, let's just build a tool for the sake of building a tool when I've already given you tools to build mansions, houses, cities. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Regulate psychology, regulate biology, regulate emotion, regulate perspective, condition. Like, you guys have got it all. Honestly, you fucking are so spoiled in terms of the content of the concept. It's not just the content, it's the concepts within that content that make up the frameworks and the processes that are your hammers and your saws and your bandsaws and your sanding paper. That's what makes this work.
Yeah.
It's the processes. It's not the philosophy. Make no mistake, I love philosophy, but my philosophy, for the most part, doesn't do jack shit outside of make you feel good. What makes you be good, be better, are my frameworks and my processes and my tools that you now have as well, that you can call upon any single time.
Yeah, cool.
You got it, Dale.
Thank you.
Hi everyone, I'm Paul.
Hey, Paul.
I look at this, and from the majority of the businesses in the room, say it's a budgeting exercise. And the way that if I can add any value to anybody, would be to get your current budgets out and look at how each of these 4 phases look. So it's almost 4 separate budgets.
Oh, thank you, because that was the missing link. Aligning budgets with that. Beautiful. Thank you, Paul. Well fucking done. Well done, mate. Well done. 1, 2, 3. Go red.
Hey Kerwin, it's Dan here.
Hey Dan.
Talk about anxiety.
Sure, we can.
Yeah.
Take a deep breath, my man. Keep breathing. It's never been a more important time.
And feel my heart racing like buggery.
Can ya?
Yeah. So what I wanted to ask was, well, pretty much in relation to myself, I haven't got an war chest.
Yep.
And with my business, I do a lot in factories, installations, steel fabrication, all that sort of stuff. The only way that I can sort of see getting past is scaling down and probably selling a house. So I'm probably interested if anyone's got any ideas on real estate, on how this is going to affect in that regards. It's probably so I can sort of make a decision from there on how it's going to impact.
Cool. I think there's going to be a lot of support around you, Dan. It's Dan, right?
Yep.
I think you're about to receive a lot of support. You want some support?
Yep.
Okay. Anyone here willing to reach out and give Dan some support? Any people in the room? Okay, fantastic. Let's get you some support, brother. But most importantly, let's make sure you complete the rest of this weekend so that you can formulate a plan. Because right now what you see is only what you see, and there's aspects of new information that once you get it, you'll see new things. You know, much like with one of my friends over here with the swim school, you know, 2 seconds before we had the conversation, she didn't see an option. And then she's like, oh my God, I can maybe make videos teaching parents how to teach their kids how to swim. I promise you there's an angle and an avenue and a way. And I'm saying this to every you. There's an avenue, there's an angle, there's a way, there's a pivot. Your job is to fucking find it before you can't. Okay? And if you can't, so be it. But don't sit there and I'm not saying you are, but I'm saying this to the general population. Don't sit there and piss and moan. Fucking get on with it. Work it out.
No, I fully understand what you're saying there.
You got this, mate.
Yeah.
You've got this.
To go back 3 years ago, myself and my family, we were living in a caravan just to create what we've got now. So there's no way I'm going to jeopardise that.
But you know the beautiful thing is, were you happy 3 years ago in a caravan?
Yeah, that was awesome. It was just a simple way of life. We had to do it.
No, I get it, but I guess my question is, let's be honest, that's a worst case scenario.
Yeah, I'd be happy going back to that if I got to
Honestly,
keep things alive.
who wouldn't mind spending 3 months in a fucking caravan right now? I got both fucking hands up. I'm like, yeah.
All right, thanks, Kerwin.
You got this. 1, 2, 3. Go, Red.
Hey guys, Josh here.
Hey, Josh.
I just wanted to hear your thoughts, Kerwin, on the coronavirus event itself versus the economic ripple to follow.
All right, give me greater context on that question so I can answer it properly.
We're I guess hyper-focused on, you know, what are we going to have to do for a remote office solution now? Does that last 2 weeks? Does that last 8 weeks? Does that last to the rest of the year? Versus what's going to happen to the economy as a result of China shutting down, etc.
It's all unknown. We don't know. But what we do know is there's going to be a significant impact. We've seen it already. I don't have that crystal ball, but what I do know is I predicted on January 17th the bloodbath that we're seeing today on the financial markets. The property market could go either way. Reason being is money's going out of market. It normally goes out of one market into another market, right? We'll see, but it might go out of shares, out of trade, out of property into gold. We don't know. It's going to be really interesting to see how the world responds. But the reality is we don't know. Unknown, uncharted territory. We don't know. But what we do know is we need to have contingencies. And there's every possibility something will happen. I don't have a contingency for it, but I guarantee I'll fucking work it out fast.